Hello, good afternoon. We're here.
Mingo got word. Janet. Nyakit Janet.
Vive one.
Halito. Sio. Kuna. Asti Hunterish. Kikadus. Madawaka. Kunamante. Hanapi. Yate.
Stongo.
Stongo. Oshkenyacha. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. It's still morning here in Geary. Yeah, it was just now getting up.
Barely waking up.
G-Town.
Oh, he did die. So Ozzy.
Oh, that's man. He was one of the greats. But yeah, here we are still in Geary, Oklahoma. G-Town. G-Town bound clown. It's how we get down, here at the, making shawls and hand drums today.
At Tradition Expedition. Hosted by your very own Tribal Office of Recovery and Belinda.
I think Natalie. There's more people from El Reno here than
yeah.
Which is all right.
Well, that's because they're all Andrea's kids. It's like 30 of them. Yeah, so everybody in the back, if you can see, yeah, those are all Andrea's kids. So Andrea.
Well, that's cool. That's cool. Congratulations, Miss De Leon, for having populating our tribe.
Yeah, repopulated El Reno.
Yeah.
That's why the blood quantum dropped.
Yeah, because of Andrea. That's all right, though. That's all right. But yeah, I made my first blind hand drum today. Cut the hell out of myself, but my blood, sweat, and tears went into it.
Yeah, I know. I was saying use that blood to paint it.
Nah, that's not very Cheyenne of me to use my blood. Only when my knife has left its sheath, I cannot return it until it has spilled blood.
Nah. Yeah, but it was your scissors.
But you lost your knife a long time ago.
So, another exciting day here. Like I said, made my first blind hand drum, and I made it for my daughter. I guess you could say today is the 9-year mark of the day that I lost my son. 9 years ago today. And it's kind of been like a roller coaster. Not really. I guess really talking about it. But I'm finally to a place where I can. I used to dread this day, about 7-8 years ago, like I dreaded today. And, I would have to say, talking to one of the bros last night, talking to my boy Heights, and it was like 2:00 in the morning when he texted me, and I'm already like laying there, like thinking about my son. And, just thinking about the day ahead, couldn't really, just tossing and turning, and then it was just like, like them God moments, where, like I'm starting to feel like I might get emotional, like I'm probably just tired though. I'm thinking like I'm a cranky baby, like getting mad and,
his hands and feet
getting all emotional,
We can have Nat burp you. She's back there.
Yeah, I'll take it. But it was like I could feel that like coming on. And then it's like 2:00 in the morning, and the bro Heights out there in Cali. Shout out to my brother Heights and Dominique. But it was like he asked me about the 4 laws of change. And, without thinking, like I just, off the top of my head, the change has to come from within. No vision, no development, like a vision has to precede, your development. And then the next one, I believe, is a great learning has to happen. And then the 4th one is you create or find your healthy forest. And it was like, I don't know, like, like one of those moments where, like I'm mourning my son, and it was like God showed up, and reminded me of my journey, reminded me of who I used to be, the things that I used to do, and how far I've made it. And it was just one of those moments where I just kind of had to sit there and just kind of be grateful. I had to be grateful for my journey. I would, like I would have to say, I definitely I felt like I was standing at the gates of hell, whenever I was going through that process. So like to see where I am today, it was like God like through, and it wasn't like God talking directly to me, but I mean, like it was one of those moments where you understood that I felt God's presence, whenever I'm sitting there thinking, like he asked me a question, and if, like I'm always trying to help, like I'm always wanting to, like, I don't think I'm some kind of guru or anything, but if somebody needs my help and I can offer it, I'm definitely going to try, and it was just one of those moments, where by the time I fell asleep, 3:30, like I felt at peace, and I remember praying for that. I remember thinking that day would never ever come, and I remember like I used to be one of those, where I would die for my kids. Like that was like one of my favorite, that's where my mentality was at, because I lost my son to suicide, and I just kept thinking like I would trade places with him any day, like, and it was just like this constant where I had to tell myself these things to make me feel better, but at the same time, like my kids didn't need a parent that was willing to die for them. They needed a parent that was willing to live for them. And I feel like that's where I'm at today. I'm somebody that they can turn to. I'm somebody that they can lean on. I'm somebody, and I used to be, real obtuse. Yeah. like I used to be real narrow minded. I had a one track mind, and it was your grief, your pain don't let it interrupt my peace. You know what I mean? So I always found a way to deflect. Always found a way to not be vulnerable. But today, I can honestly say that I honestly believe that my son is proud of me today. Like I don't think there's a whole lot that he doesn't know about. I don't think that I feel like like almost like he's looking out for us, beyond anything that we can ever imagine. I I always just imagined him with his mom, because his mom really struggled, and I've said a lot of prayers for her, and she really, really struggled, and I've always, like, I didn't think that my issues were, like I'm gonna live, like my issues ain't, like I can't imagine what she's going through. So I mean, it's just been one of those things where I know my son's proud of me, and I can honor him. I can honor him by living a good life and being good to his brothers and sisters. Like I take a lot of pride in that, is that I'm able to be that parent that I never had. I mean, and it was kind of jacked up because by the time I got like this, like they're already all grown. 5 of them are already grown. But I get the opportunity with Johnny and Penelope. You know, like they get to see a dad that my kids never, you know, like they seen me as that dad in the beginning, but they're little, they're babies. They don't remember, you know, like the dad that I was. And then, you know, now I get to be the grandpa, you know, I get to be the grandpa that I never had today. So, I mean, you know, like sometimes this day is heavy, you know, but for the most part, you know, I'm pretty lucky because I have family, I have friends, and I got a community that were willing to carry that load with me. You know, and I've embraced that. You know, I've it made things easier. You know, so you know, it's been 9 years. You know, 9 years since I lost my son. You know, Isaac Mack Botone. You know, that was his name. His Cheyenne name was Morning Sun. You know, and that just means so much to me, you know, today to see that sun coming up. You know, I when I see it, I think of my son, you know, so like when I see it, I think morning sun, you know, like my son, but you know, it translates to, you know, morning sun. So, but yeah, so how's y'all's day going? You know? Who's to go next? Top that.
Yeah. I gotta go put these buns in Thea's car.
Yeah.
I don't know where she went.
Leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just dropped. Oh, there she is. All right. No, we're good. I just know she's leaving soon.
Yeah. Tatum left.
Yeah. I know. Mingo just.
Why are they all leaving?
Tatum has a doctor's appointment. I think.
Tatum has more doctor's appointment than the healthiest, healthier than a horse. Got more doctor's appointment than anybody. Then Theta, the actual sick one.
She's got a doctor's appointment.
Does she?
Well, she's got to fix her voice.
I go into the voice.
Yeah, have her growl into the mic.
What are you doing?
We want you to laugh so we can have everybody hear it.
So like Marge Simpson's sisters.
Goodness.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah, Mingo's like, oh, I gotta do a half day tomorrow. I was like, dang it, Mingo. We had high hopes. High hopes. I thought he was gonna make it a whole week.
2.5 days. You know, like he's well, almost till 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Timothy Davis says, "Brother, keep up the good work representing us and our people.
Brother
Proud
Kim.
of all y'all there for real. Stay blessed. Keep sharing the positive energy. God got us."
Aho, brother. I hope you're having a good day out there.
Carrie Neneto says, "Aho, creator."
Aho. Good nah, Carrie. Good nah.
Leslie Shorties, good afternoon. How are you, Brother Barry, and your nephew Christian?
Aho.
He wants to come and visit you this weekend.
Definitely. Bring him by the office. You know, come check me out.
Dear Babe says, "Good afternoon, fellas."
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah, Barry's over here making a skirt for you and everything.
I know. I'm still thinking of that tattoo of that deer tail. Like when you know, like with the pictures, when you see it from this angle, it moves, and then when you see it, from
holographic tattoo.
When she's walking in Walmart, that deer tail's 3D.
Dang. David Deere says, "Good afternoon."
Don't go, David.
Stacy Starr says, "Hello." Janice Logan says, "Good afternoon, Pete."
Hey, Stacy.
Phyllis White Thunder says, "Good afternoon, y'all."
Good afternoon, y'all.
Yep.
Thank you for tuning in, ladies. You know, appreciate you all, Tim. You know, all the gentlemen that are able to come and check us out. You know, so we got my niece here.
I was waiting to see her close up snacking.
Got my niece here.
It's like right here.
She even crawled under the table and everything, trying to be sneaky.
But yeah, so you know, it's a good day. You know, I couldn't imagine being anywhere else. You know, like every time I feel like even if we just try to heal our community, like in you know, like I still feel like this was a success because, you know, like even if we just only had one person come out, you know, I feel like, you know, then our you know, like we completed our mission. You know what I mean? And you know, like this is a test run, basically a test run, and I think it'll just help us open our mind up to what we could do next.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, we got a lot of first timers too, and so it's cool seeing, little kids running around with ribbon skirts that they just made today, or grown adults running around with ribbon skirts they just made today.
Yeah.
Theta, where's Theta?
Theta,
Show off your ribbon skirt. You got to show
your
off
ribbon
your
skirt.
But yeah, and then we have, first timers making hand drums, all that stuff, and it's cool seeing. And so here's Theta's.
Yeah, here's Theta's. Check it out. Great. That was great. That was your first time? Wow, you're pretty talented, Theta. Kind of like with the you learned peyote stitch.
Yeah, the hand drum. She was quick with.
I mean,
yeah,
I know, right? We could be coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gonna have our own sweatshop.
Yeah, our own sweatshop upstairs now.
It's good. It was good. You know, you did a great job. You're pretty talented. Who would have thought?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've come a long way.
You come a long ways, Auntie. That's Auntie Bullfrog.
But yeah, it's a cool event. And then seeing, like I said, just seeing people just laugh and stuff.
Yeah.
Like it's not quiet in here. Like,
No, we got powwow music going, you know, kind of setting the tone, setting the mood. You know, seeing we had 3, you know, had a elder come in, make a hand drum, and 2 young kids, you know, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And you know, like all in all, I feel like it's everybody who's supposed to be here is here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and to me, it's always about the exposure.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like we'll figure out something else. You know, we'll find another way. You know, and that's the thing about this group is that we're determined.
Yeah, we're not stuck in our
ways.
ways.
We're like we had enough people show up where I made my first hand. I know how to make hand drums. I just always help somebody else make theirs. You know what I mean? So like I actually, made a blind man's hand drum today.
It's gonna be the new background of the podcast.
Nah, I'm giving it to my daughter. My daughter, she wants a hand drum. She likes to sing round dance songs. So I'm gonna send her with Dave up there, and let her jam out, So feels good. It feels good. I just appreciate what you all do. I appreciate, the effort. I appreciate, just the way you all think about my people. Yeah, I'm just kidding.
Anyways, Tobias says, "Good afternoon, brother."
Good afternoon. Hey, Tobias, we're sweating Wednesday. We are sweating Wednesday. There's a veteran sweat. But, like we, Cheyenne CNAs, we have that open door policy. Like if somebody needs prayers and you show up, it could be your arch nemesis. And if he shows up, you that's our way. He's invited in and you pray with that man, and if anything, you pray for him, like I'm pretty sure, like I've never seen a situation where that has actually happened.
Where an arch nemesis.
Arch nemesis just show up and they're just like, I wonder what they're praying about, But I've never experienced, that kind of bad energy.
Yeah.
When you show up. But yeah, Wednesday at 6:30. Come out to Concho across the street from the complex. You turn down the cemetery road from the complex, and then when you come to that fence on the left side, you turn towards that fence and you follow the fence over the hump, and that's where everybody's going to be parking at. So, we'll be out there. But yeah, come through, brother.
Auntie J-Bo says, "Hello, Barry Botone." Shine Rapo Tour Project. Right now says, "Hey, how's everyone doing?" Misty,
how you doing right now?
Says, "Hey, y'all."
Hey there, country girl.
Ruth Bearship, y'all are doing a great job. I wanted to be there, but car trouble. Keep doing what you're doing.
It's all right, Auntie. That's all right.
Cameron Curtis, always awesome afternoon with the goats of recovery.
Aho, aho. I wish, I wish I would. Yeah. But thank you, Mr. Curtis. He's from my hometown.
We were just talking about him today too.
Yeah. He's from my hometown. He's a terrier. Terrier for life. And he's a hell of a football player.
Right now says, "What's good, brother?"
What's good? What's good?
Susan Stacy says, "Inch J from OKC.
Che.
We're at the main event with our youth group."
Stongo.
All right.
Stongo
Wait,
Stongo
Is mine still working? What is that?
Yes.
Oh,
I can hear you
I
fine.
muted the wrong one.
Wait.
I
You just
muted
muted
the
the
right
Lynn
Okay.
Lynn Onzwa says, "Hello, fellas."
Hey, they're having a speaker meeting, I believe, this
Thursday,
Thursday.
same night we're having our.
Jeremy Harjo, I believe.
Cool.
So, if you're in the Oklahoma City area and you need a Wellbriety group, go check out Medicine Tribe. They have a Facebook page, and that's exactly what it is, Medicine Tribe. And Lynn Ons, she runs that page, and she runs my brother David's life. So always appreciate what she does for our community. So
Our friend from Germany is
do.
on, Mr. Rolf
Hey, Rolf.
from Schleswig, Holstein, Germany.
Hey, appreciate you for tuning in. Aho.
Jerry Warlido.
Hey, Jerry.
Oh, it's great to see what y'all are doing for our people.
Aho.
And Lynn said there is no speaker meeting this Thursday.
Oh, it's not?
No. But go visit Medicine Tribe.
Yeah,
anyways.
go visit Medicine Tribe anyways. I don't know what I was thinking then. I seen something for the 24th, and I just figured it was a.
Well, we're
speaker
having
meeting.
ours, so come
But yeah,
come
if
meet
you're
and greet
in
with
the,
us.
El Reno area on the 24th, Thursday, we will be eating at 6. Come and break bread with us. And we will have our new employees kind of come up, kind of like a Q&A. I'm thinking, little Q&A, a little bit of letting them being able to share their experience, strength, and hope. So, at the 1950 South Shepherd in El Reno, if you are in the area, come by and, come make a plate, if anything.
Yeah.
Come and break some bread with us. We're going to have stew, beans, cornbread, fry bread. So, yeah, we will be there Thursdays. Come and check us out.
She said Jeremy is having a talking circle at the Ferris wheel. Though.
Oh, that's what it was.
Yeah. They've been having them all over the place. They had it at Scissortail, I think, one time.
Yeah, I seen that.
Yeah. So
That's pretty cool. Yeah, go check out Medicine Tribe, man. They're good
Medicine
peoples.
Tribe on the road in OKC.
Yes, go check them out, man. Go check them out. They're doing great things up there.
Yes, sir.
Well, should we go ahead and?
You want to read it? Well, I'll read it.
Yeah. I'm blind. That was a.
But you made a hand
Keep
drum.
them up. Keep your shots above the belt.
But you made a hand drum.
Yeah, that was by feel.
All right. Elder's meditation of the day. Let me get it scrolling here. It's kind of a long one.
Good deal.
All right. July 22nd. In this universe, all activities, events, and entities are related. Indians believe that everything in the universe has value and instructs us in some aspect of life. Everything is alive and is making choices that determine the future. So the world is constantly creating itself. With the wisdom and time for reflection that old age provides, we may discover unsuspected relationships. That comes from Vine Deloria Jr., Standing Rock Sioux. We are all connected. This is what the elders have told us for a long time. If we are connected to all things, then whenever we harm anything, it causes harm to ourselves. If we destroy the air, then we will be affected by what we breathe in. If we poison the earth, we poison ourselves. We must respect our Mother Earth, and she will respect us in return. We must open our eyes and obey the spiritual laws that govern the earth and ourselves. Grandfather, today, Allow me to honor and respect the things you have made. Let me see the beauty of all things.
Mm, it's
Go
pretty
ahead,
good.
Mr. Boat.
Thank you, Mr. Revelis.
Mm.
Like what came to mind, automatically was my grandma, my grandma Mary, you know, Mary Black Wolf Wilson. Um, just a simple treat treat others how you want to be treated,
Right.
and that was easy to understand when you were a kid, when things ain't complicated, when your emotions ain't in the way, when you're not, like you have a chance to, it's not a big deal to apologize, it's not, you're not, you're facing your consequences of your actions, like you're a little bit more accountable because you're so innocent, when you're younger.
Right.
And I seen how, like, I seen how that mentality, like I seen it start to change in all phases of my life. Whenever the older my grandma got, and to the point where, she had dementia, she had Alzheimer's, she went back to being, that little kid that they talk about,
Hmm.
where she had taken care of me my whole life. And then at some point, me, my little brother, my little sister, my mom, and other family members, my aunt lived on the same block. My cousin Lori lived on the same block. Her kids, my cousin Jack, Teresa, like everybody, like nobody was afraid to like look after her,
Yeah.
make sure grandma was okay. But as far as like, she was always the one preaching that. She was always holding this accountable. My mom was she was kind of like, my mom ruled with an iron fist.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And she knew how to use it,
Yeah.
like, and my grandma was the opposite. After my mom would kind of, after she'd beat us up, my grandma was the compassionate one.
Yeah.
But she also held us accountable. If you were wrong, she was going to correct you. But I remember like being taught that very early. Like she'd probably see or hear about something I did, and she'd be the one to be like if somebody did that to you, like I would go crazy. Like I would be so upset. And so what makes you think that it's okay for you to do that to somebody else?
Right.
Well, after losing all, kind of, there was a time in my life where I felt deserted. 13, 14 years old, get dropped off in El Reno, and I didn't know who was going to take care of me. I didn't know, like my Aunt J-Bo was one of them. She wanted to take me in. My Aunt Harvetta, but I don't think my Uncle Frankie really wanted a lot to do with me. But, my Aunt Harvetta, who wasn't, like she was willing to, like if it came down to it, she was going to take me in. But, my grandma, ended up, just kind of like, I want you here with me.
Yeah.
And, I kind of lost faith in my parents. I just felt like neither one of them wanted me. Like I didn't understand what I did. I could kind of understand like the path that I was choosing.
Yeah.
So it was like, I started to lose that self-respect. I didn't have that encouragement that a kid needs. So I went to other places to find it.
Mm.
I went to other places to look for that camaraderie, that brotherhood. I grew up in a house full of kids, full of older brothers, little brother, little sister. Like I didn't have none of that, in El Reno. Not that closeness, of having a sibling. And, I just kind of felt deserted. And, I started acting out. I started, making all the wrong choices,
Yeah.
and I have some rugged, rugged ass stories, and they were all from whenever I was a kid.
Yeah.
Not even grown. Like not even close. Even when I was grown, I wasn't making grown decisions. But it just, I can understand like where I lost touch with a lot of things. I can understand where I only cared about me. And then you pour alcohol on top of alcoholism. Like I was just itching at the bit to be just like everyone else in my family.
Hmm.
I just thought that was a real solution. And I found comfort in my addiction. So always kind of had it in the back of my mind, like like we should be taking care of Mother Earth, but I didn't know how. I didn't understand that just throwing away trash. Like I didn't have that concept, like that simple concept.
Right.
But what also happened was I still kept going to ceremonies, still kept going to sweats. I became a dog soldier whenever I was 15. That was in 1995, and just kind of held on to what little bit I knew. Still learning, still learning today. But I wasn't really a student then like I am today. I didn't. I was I was struggling. Like I didn't understand. Like I didn't have no respect for myself. I had no love for myself.
Hmm.
So therefore, you can't give away what you don't have.
Right.
So I can only imagine. The chaos, the havoc, the carnage that was left after I came out of a situation. Where I only thought about me.
Hmm.
And I watched that. I watched that unfold in my kids' lives. And I feel like I had like I don't question God, but I always just like I used to feel so bad for my kids, and I was just like, why didn't you ever give these kids a chance? Talking to God.
Hmm.
Why couldn't you have just given them, a better dad or a better, whatever. So like you just kind of lose faith in a lot of things when like when everything isn't microwaved in your life and it's instantly better. Like I need that instant gratification.
Yeah.
Because at this point that's the only thing that exists, is instant gratification. So it took me a while. It took me a while to find my faith again. It took me a while to hit my true rock bottom. Where I'm praying for death. Like that was the only way I seen of coming out of my addiction. But I somewhere, some way, somebody or something happened where I did something right, or somebody said the right thing, and I felt that change come from within.
Hmm.
I felt that change come from within. And like I remember I used to come off a week or two bender, and I would just lay there when I woke up, and I would just like pray, like I wonder what it feels like to be sober. And like what I'm doing today, that's what I would daydream about. Like, man, if I know anything about anything, it's about drugs and alcohol.
Yeah.
Like, and I would lay there like, man, if I could just help somebody, like I know that's my calling. Like I know that's what I want to spend the rest of my life doing. And like so that change had to come from within. So a vision precedes my development. Like I see myself doing this already.
Hmm.
And I'm trying to figure out what it's going to take for me to get there. So then a great learning occurred. Like there's a great learning that happened in my life, and it wasn't about anything else but about my disease and learning who I truly am
Mhm.
and becoming who, what makes me happy. And it has nothing to do with anger. It has nothing to do with fear. It has nothing to do with shame. It has nothing to do with guilt. Like I found trust. I found hope. I found faith. And most importantly, I found love.
Yeah.
I found love for myself. And I didn't think that was even possible. Like I gave up on myself a long time ago, but God didn't give up on me.
Right.
And so what happened after having the change come from within? you know uh no vision, there's no development. And then the great learning happened, and I worked a 12-step program, and I finally figured out who I am and why. Like this is who I am today. And this is where my life is headed. And I'm okay with that. Like I get to be a grandpa today, I'm a papa today.
Mhm.
And and so then comes the fourth spiritual law of change is I found my healing forest. Like I get hired by Tor, and you all were already setting the foundation for this healing forest.
Mhm.
I just got to come and be a part of that community. And then like I think we realized the what was happening. Like it wasn't anything that we controlled. Like the creator. Like he paved the way for us.
Mhm.
And then I think that's one of the awesome things about this is that I don't think we're peaking at what we're able to do. Like once something good happens, and we're not like comparing what we've already done. Like we're just allowing these doors to keep opening for us,
Mhm.
and we're not afraid to go in them. Like we're not afraid to share our experience, strength, and hope. We're not afraid, to be who we really are. And when we're some characters for sure, but at the same time, we're just so wide open about our story that I feel blessed today. Like I get to be a part of this healing forest.
Mhm.
And it's taken my life to a place that I never even imagined. So I don't even know what's supposed to happen next because I've never been here.
Mhm.
I've never experienced this. It's new in our community. But at the same time, it feels so natural. When that natural law happens and we get to practice these principles in all our affairs. Like there's something natural about like this healing.
Yeah.
So that's I'm it should be a sad day to me. It should be something that I don't like this day still ain't over. I might still get caught up in my emotion, but at the same time, like I'm very grateful, thankful, and appreciative of what the creator has allowed in my life. And therefore, I feel blessed. I feel blessed beyond because like I said, I feel like my son would be proud of who I am today.
Right.
And like if I let my mind take over, and I don't follow the creator with my heart, my mind will take over and it'll tell me, where I failed. It'll tell me, because my mind doesn't need my permission, to allow this addiction to take back over.
Mhm.
But I feel like it's because my heart is open to what the creator allows. Like that's my spiritual defense. Like that's what keeps me grounded in I don't know, like I said, it could be a hard day if I let it be hard. but I'm just such a positive person.
Mhm.
Like I always look at the bright side, and today, it's been 9 years since I lost my son, but I feel like the way that somebody like me gets to be a vessel of the creator's work, for some reason I feel like in my heart that's what my son gets to do too.
Right.
So yeah, that's all I got.
That's good. That's good, brother. There's not a lot more that I could probably add on, but I wanted to reread what the statement was after the quote today, because it kind of speaks for itself. It says, "We are all connected. This is what the elders have told us for a long time. If we are connected to all things, then wherever we harm anything, or whenever we harm anything, it causes harm to ourselves.
Yeah.
If we destroy the air, then we will be affected by what we breathe in.
Mhm.
If we poison the earth, we poison ourselves. We must respect our Mother Earth, and she will respect us in return. We must open our eyes and obey the spiritual laws that govern the earth and ourselves." And, you know, as I was sitting there and I was reading that, just the statements in themselves, just, you know, it's pretty self-explanatory. Like,
Yeah.
but it's the grasping of the knowledge that you're part of the world. Like, you're part of the spiritual part of the
Yeah.
world. You're part of the physical part of the world.
Yeah.
Everything that you do is going to affect a person. It's going to affect your environment, and your environment consists of physical, emotional, spiritual, and mental. And it doesn't matter if you're having a negative day, if you're having a positive day. You said, today's could be a tough day, and that's fine. Everybody has those days.
Hmm.
Everybody has a grief day, and it's just about how you go about processing it and going through that day and learning from it and growing from it. And if you've been facing it for, like you said, you have for 9 years,
Uh-huh.
then you're stronger every time you have to face it.
Yeah.
And you've learned from it, from your past experience. And I think it grounds a lot of people sometimes because they don't know how to deal with it. They don't know how to deal with their grief, or they don't know how to deal with, like, maybe
Pain,
maybe they're physically fine, but they don't know how to deal with, like, spiritual pain. They
Yeah.
don't know how to deal with emotional pain.
Yeah.
They've never had to, and they've never tried to face it. And if they're going through it year by year by year and allowing that to happen,
Could be a
dude,
day.
like,
That day could turn into a week.
yeah.
That week could turn into a month,
And
and then
that's what happened with me. I started snowballing like that.
Yeah.
It's like I went from thinking that I was one of them people that thought I knew everything, and that
still are.
I could deal with everything. I could handle everything. And then, like, I had to take a step back because I started to realize that I wasn't trying to feel anything. Like, I was using my alcoholism to make sure that I wasn't feeling anything anymore, and to hide away from my anger issues or my grief issues,
Resentments.
yeah, all this stuff that had happened in my life. And uh it just took some time, like you said, to start developing yourself and to start learning and
Yeah.
figuring out who you are. Yeah, the other two mics are muted. So to figure out who you are, and I had to have that realization that there's no way. Like, I had to do it for my son, and whenever he was young, I had to have the realization that I'm not going to be able to be a real good father for him until I can fix me.
Yeah.
And I had to start working on it. And it's like you said earlier, it's like, I now, from before, I used to think that I knew, like, a lot, and there was nothing else that I needed to learn. Now I have, like, a thirst for, like, learning new things. Like, I want to garner more knowledge, whether it's about our recovery journeys or about, my kids and the schooling stuff that they're learning, because everything that they're learning now is completely different than what we were learning
Yeah.
when we were in
The
school.
geniuses, baby
Yeah,
geniuses.
and or just stuff about my own ministry stuff that I'm trying to figure out. And I have to take time to start doing that every day. And And now that I've started to make that more of a priority and trying to improve myself, it allows me to have a better relationship with my kids.
For sure.
And and with other people, and it allows me to be able to talk and not be worried about what I'm saying, because there for the longest time, man, like that was like a crutch for me, because I never wanted to share anything. I never wanted to talk. I never wanted to, because I wanted to be like, oh man, those people they're gonna judge everything I say. They're gonna break me down or anything else, and like
They're gonna know.
yeah, and working, yeah, or working, or they know about me from the past. Like,
Yeah.
this guy's full of crap. Like, don't listen to him. And so, but I was like, but it's taken working here for me to realize that there could be 400 people in there that we're talking to, but if we reach one person,
Yeah.
out of that entire group,
That's all that matters.
that's all that matters. And it could be full of our family or whatever, but if I reach one person from my family,
Mhm.
and they hear about how I had to change and how I've started to learn how to grow every day, and because that's part of being in the forest. You have to grow every day, because if you're not growing every day, you're going to be that little bitty tree amongst all the big trees.
Yeah. A shrub.
Yep. And you don't want to be the little tree. You want to be part of the big tree.
Yeah, you don't want to take part in the fear, the anger,
Yeah.
the shame, and the guilt.
So, it's just a process I've had to put myself through, going through this and learning about me. And man, I can tell you that puts fear into people. Is because they start realizing who they are,
Mhm.
but at the same time, it gives them a grip on who they can become.
Yeah.
And once you start developing on who you can become, your future is limitless, and you can become whoever you want to be. And I tell that to everybody. I was like, it doesn't matter how old you are.
You don't tell that to me.
Yeah, I don't need to tell it to you. You already know. You already know all that stuff. But
I want to hear it out of your mouth.
Well, Barry, it doesn't matter how old you are, old man. Become who you want to be. You're living your dream right now. You've said that. So, and it's like you said, never in my mind did I ever think that I'd be working in this field.
Yeah.
Despite how much it's affected me in my life and my family, never something I thought I'd be doing.
Yeah.
And here I am. And I think as I start to garner my voice and start to, get used to using it in a better manner than I have been, like, it's going to start helping more and more people. And like I'm ready for it, and I'm trying to teach myself how to be better at it.
Mhm.
And like I said, like from the beginning, I've never had a problem talking in front of people. It's just making sure. Like, I was always trying to make sure that I was saying the right thing, and I was always
All
concerned.
self-conscious.
Yeah, I was
about it.
always concerned about, well, I need to make sure I say this and this and this and this and this. And now when I do it, I just start talking.
You know,
And I don't think about it anymore.
that's
So,
why I pray.
yeah.
You know, like you see me with my hat off and
Yep.
sitting over here, like just quiet, and like I try to do that every time. We do this
Yeah.
because then I feel like that takes the pressure off of me, and I ask God to give me His words. Let me say the things that you need me to say to reach the person that needs to hear this. And then I feel like that I get out of the way at that point.
Yeah.
And I allow, I want to be that vessel for him. Allow me to be that vessel of your work, because we know what happens whenever I'm driving this boat. Yeah, this boat.
Yeah. And that's part of my prayers in the morning every time, is like, hey, there's gonna be ample opportunities for me to be able to share my story or to be a witness for you today. Don't let me miss those opportunities.
Yeah.
And definitely don't let me miss out if you're making yourself present at some point in my life.
Mhm.
Don't let me miss that opportunity. And
That's the first thing we do.
yeah, and I like it, and because that's the last thing that I would want to do, is to miss out on an opportunity to share my story or to be unaware that God's trying to get a hold of me throughout the day. Like, hey, pay attention.
Might be working to an auntie. You
Yeah.
never know.
Yeah. Could be. It's
Dear
possible.
baby, you never know.
Dear babe, yeah.
Bless us.
But yeah, that's just all part of my process and how I looked at it today. So
Well,
there you
I
go.
like that. I like that. Do we have any more comments?
Oh yeah. Barry White says, "What's up, Barry B? It's me,
Hey,
Barry White Buffalo."
hey, brother.
Shayla Leanne gives a thumbs up.
Aho, aho.
Dave says, "Oh, it's the Barry White Buffalo."
The Barry White Buffalo.
And he said, "Good afternoon. I'm just now tuning in." And that's it.
Thanks for tuning in, brother.
Yeah.
Well, something else that came to mind about, if we contaminate the air, we are the air. If we contaminate, if we poison the earth, it's like poisoning ourselves,
Yep.
and if we, poison the water, like I feel like where it says we're all interconnected, we are that air, we are that dirt, we are part of, we come from Mother Earth,
Oh yeah.
and we are that water, like that's how, understanding that nature is our teacher. That was our first teacher. Wasn't no book. We didn't have written language until,
Hmm.
way later in life. The Mother Earth was our teacher. And that was all that we needed, and she still provides her medicine. She still allows us to have ceremonies.
Hmm.
So like I always like to use the example that when the creator made these lava rocks thousands, maybe even million of years ago, like he knew that these objects would be used for me to say my prayers, to humble myself down on Mother Earth and say these prayers, and leave all my problems there with these rocks.
Hmm.
He knew that millions of years ago. You know what I mean? Like just being able to think of it in that way, like I'm still amazed.
Right.
I'm still amazed at what the creator allows in my life today. So
I'll go beyond that and say that, like, when we talk about contaminating the air, it's not just like pollution or something. Like I think about it like as in it could be just the words you're talking
yeah,
or the words you speak. Because if you're talking to somebody and you're not saying anything good to them,
yeah,
then you're contaminating. You're
you're
contaminating them, and you're poisoning them for lack of better terms right now. And it's going to break them down.
and that
And
poisons you.
yeah, and so it turns right around and it poisons you because you're going to go throughout your day and you're going to, man, I didn't have to say it that way. Or it's not about regrets. It's just about being present in the moment and realizing what you're doing and what you're saying and how it can affect people. And I think sometimes, older ones, um, or older people, not just older ones. I didn't mean that to sound like elders or whatever, but like they yeah, they have an influence on people that they don't even realize that they have.
Yeah,
And like sometimes like
we're elder to somebody.
yeah, and so like sometimes when I think about us and stuff, like I'm like we have a bigger influence circle than
And what we
that
think,
we ever
yeah,
thought we were gonna have. And to where like it was like it felt like a year ago we had to plan all the stuff that we were doing, and now like our calendar is full of people wanting us to be
here and there.
here and there like all the time. Like that's half of our events, and
Yeah,
probably more. um we
2/3
had
at
to set
least
aside this week and probably turn people down just so we could try to hold something like this.
for ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's what's it's just crazy to think about. And I have to, when I talk to people that are starting their journey, their recovery journey, that's one of the things I tell them. I'm like, just because you just started doesn't mean you can't have influence on somebody.
yeah.
You could be 24 hours into your journey.
And somebody who's never even taken that step can be looking up to you
Right.
just because you did.
Yep.
A journey of 1,000 miles, starts with one step.
Yep.
Like that's how it begins, with that first step. So we're all an elder to somebody, and it's just it. If you let it, like it can seem a bit much at times, but like I like to pray about everything. I like to consult the creator about, most of the stuff I do in my life, even the little things.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't feel like, you know, like if I give him the opportunity, I know he's gonna guide me right. He's gonna, you know, if there's a lesson that needs to be learned, he's gonna humble me in a way that I understand. You know, I'm not gonna feel like, you know, like the world's just doing me dirty. You know, like that those type of thoughts, you know, don't come. You know,
Mm-hmm.
when I've faced trial and error in my life, you know, I look at it as a lesson. Either it's a lesson or it's gonna become a blessing.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, just being able to allow the creator to give me that awareness of when I need to be paying attention or when I need to focus, you know, on what the task at hand, because I'm you know, I'm a procrastinator. You know, I'm a horrible procrastinator. So, you know, that's really, you know, that's really all I got.
Yeah. I think once you start grasping your the things that you go through in your life, not just as lessons, but as, you know, they're everything is a teaching moment. But like
Uh-huh.
everything that you go through in your life, you can either turn it into something that's going to break you down, or you're going to turn it into some kind of success.
Yeah.
And being able to deal with your grief or your, you know, your trauma and things is, it's a blessing.
Yeah.
And I think that if you're able to use that and grow yourself, and make sure you're focusing on doing that for yourself,
Yeah.
because man, like we as Native people are taught different. Well, at least me, for I remember I was taught different growing up. Like the last thing you need to be thinking about is yourself, and I think that's why sometimes it's hard as Native people to go through that journey, that start in their recovery journey, because you're never taught to be thinking about you. You're always
Yeah.
taught about thinking about other people, making sure they're taken care of, make sure that your family's taken care of, and all this. And I remember it took a lot for me to kind of break free from that, and I still battle it almost every day. Like I worry about my kids. I worry about, sorry, my little one's sitting right here.
Yeah.
You can't see her; she's still off camera. She comes and grabs potato wedges and runs off. But yeah, I just think about that. Like, man, and you have to be able to recognize that those moments when in your life or in your daily life where it's a teachable moment and you need to learn something for you, and
Accept the lesson.
yeah, and accept that. And it's just important, and sometimes we allow those moments to pass by, and thinking that,
Far too
yeah,
often, thinking we know it all.
yeah, thinking we know it all, or we're not ever going to be able to use it
That
again or something like that.
you got to have an open mind, which opens your heart.
Yeah.
You got to see with your heart. You got to listen with your heart. So yeah, that's a great point. But do we have any more comments
Yeah,
before we head out?
Uncle Rory Little Raven's on here.
Hey, all right, Uncle.
Give us a thumbs up.
Appreciate you.
Dave says, what was it like for you when you first started learning how to let go of control?
Oh man, you know, honestly, that, you know, the way that I understood it was, you know, and I didn't know, you know, what I know of it today. I can put it in a way that we all understand, but when it's happening,
Yeah.
you don't quite understand. You feel like somebody's trying to get over. You know, my fear. It was my fear. You know, that I know today that's what it was. It was my fear.
Yeah.
Fear of having to trust in something that I couldn't grab, having to trust something that I couldn't, like I had to have faith in things that I didn't understand, because this God concept, I was having trouble, you know, while in the middle of my addiction.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like that becomes your answer so much that when you got to get your feet on the ground and understand that there's something greater happening in your life, but you're not going to be able to grab it. You're not going to be able to, you know, like it's not going to be there in physical form. You know, like it wasn't happening physically, but you can feel something mentally is about to happen. And so emotionally, it makes you afraid because of past experiences and trauma. Like these things didn't end well.
Right.
But as far as spiritually, like I feel like I was at the bottom of where I had to be for me to understand that there's got to be something greater out there than me.
Right.
And that's what allowed me to even think about the concept of getting sober. So when I let go, it was like like it was after I took that first step. It was actually making the decision to turn, like that change came from within.
Mm-hmm.
And it was it was kind of tough, because I had lied so much, like it felt good. Once I was able to kind of be honest, once I was able to be honest, like that kind of changed how I was looking at things. But like I was taught that an alcoholic's first dilemma and biggest dilemma is our lack of power.
Mm-hmm.
Because then when I got all the power, I'm going to lie, cheat, and steal my way into taking another drink because that's what's worked for me. That helps me with my mental crisis. That helps me with my resentments. That helps me with so many problems of my area. But the void that it's creating in my life outweighs, the good that it was doing in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So, being able to give that control over to a higher power, was kind of like that's what kept me up at night.
Right.
Those type of situations where I had to believe in something that I couldn't see. I had to believe in something that I couldn't hear. I had to believe in something that I couldn't touch. But I could sense something greater than me was about to happen. And what it looked like from the beginning was fear.
Right.
Fear. That's how it presented itself. I took it as anger, but really I'm only angry because I don't want to show how scared I am.
Right.
So it's a natural reaction for me to act tough. You know what I mean? Like when you see a guy acting tough, it's because he's scared.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's only one explanation for that. He's scared.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how it presented itself, was fear. And I had to teach myself these healthy habits and put my faith where my fear used to live. Like I can say this all day long, but until you start practicing this, like how can I put my faith where my fear used to live? Like you start unloading. Okay, I don't have control of this situation. I got to trust the process. Like what does that mean? That means that I'm not going to react to the other people who may have a day or two more than me, and I'm not going to turn to them for advice. I'm going to find somebody who practices these spiritual principles in everything that they do. I'm not going to turn to Joe Schmo over here who got one more week than me. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you're not going to get very good advice over there. Like let's just be honest. But what I did was I started talking to people who had been, had a little bit of time under their belt. And I started asking them, how do I get there? And I start realizing how scared I am.
Yeah.
And but yeah, that's how it's presented itself, was through fear. And if there's one thing that I understood about myself, is that I wasn't afraid to die. Like addicts, as an addict, that's what we do a little bit every time that we use. we take that chance. We're like we don't know where this stuff comes from. We don't know, like somebody just trying to make $1, like you never know what's in it.
Right.
But I wasn't afraid to go and do that, put these substances in my body and have no idea who that guy was that just sold it to me, like, but to actually put my faith in a process where I'm looking at the results, like of the people like that were on, they were part of the staff, like, well, damn, like they tell their stories way worse than mine, and it's like I guess you can say like you see the proof in the pudding. Like you can actually see how these people had to let go, and let go and let God.
Yeah.
And it's been an amazing journey. Being able to say that today is definitely a blessing. That an alcoholic and an addict and somebody who suffers from substance use disorder, their first dilemma is their lack of power. Because then what if we got the power? When I had the power, all I was allowing me to do was use every day. That was, I wasn't using it for nothing good. I was using it to lie, cheat, and steal so I could take another drink, so I could take another hit. So being able to use that same, I guess, not that same potion, but those beliefs that have proven to me that this thing is definitely sustainable. If I'm willing to put in the work, and that I probably wouldn't be alive today if it wasn't for me trusting the process.
Yeah.
Like I'm willing to trust a complete stranger with putting substances, like with the things that are going around today. Man, like I'm willing to do that, but I ain't willing to look at the blueprint of the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous, where there's a blueprint in the pages about how to get my life back.
Yeah.
Like you can read it and it'll, like it's a blueprint. And when I feel like I get a little bit of that power back, what I want to do is I want to do things my way. Like we've already tried it my way. Like that's how I ended up as an alcoholic. That's how I ended up as an addict, because I tried things my way. So let me do something, let me get a sponsor. Let me find somebody who's got a little bit of time under their belt, who practices these spiritual laws and everything that they do. And, let me ask somebody who, who is healing. I'm not going to, like I said, I'm not going to ask the guy that's been there the longest at rehab with me. Like, nah, bro, if I got to, I'm gonna call somebody, definitely gonna get a sponsor, and I'm definitely gonna trust the process. So that's all I got about that.
That's good.
That's all I got
think,
about that.
When it comes to control, that's like human
nature.
It's human nature for people to think that they're ever in control of anything. It wasn't until I realized that I wasn't in control of anything that I finally was able to kind of take control, to allow, like you said, to let go and let God. And you talked about fear a lot, and that's what it is. It's all about people being afraid of not being able to face whatever situation that may be coming in their lives, whatever's going to happen in that next moment, and not being able to be in control of whatever's going to face you're going to be coming towards. And I think I've talked about it before, but I remember having a moment in my aunt's house in the front yard, and I had to release like the control off of, because I was trying to control being in school, control being around for my family, control, making sure that things were happening right in my relationships and doing this, doing that, and trying to. I just remember just being like, man, I need to let all this go. And I just remember in that moment, like I felt like this huge weight come off of my shoulders, and and it's still, and I'm sure it is with a lot of people. Like I
and
battle,
people get comfortable
yeah,
there.
I battle with it every single day. Like I have to realize that I'm not going to be able to be and walk with my kids like every single moment of their life. I wish I could, but they're going to go to school and I can't control what's happening with them at school. A lot of people will fight battles, endless battles, because they're not able to control every single thing that's happening at school or whatever. Or if you're going to your job and you can't control every single thing that's happening there. Like those are all battles that people like allow stress to come into your life. That's why people are full
Codependency.
of anxiety all the time. That's why depression happens. That's why people battle addiction. And you know, it's just like you just have to have that realization that
Yeah.
you're never ever going to be in control of anything, and that
And if you do, you're probably going to make the
yeah.
wrong decision.
yeah, and that's why God's in control. That's why Creator's in control. And it's not until you realize that you need to have that relationship with Him so you can understand what
Consult the creator.
what His plan is for your life. Then you're going to become more comfortable.
Yeah.
And
Because if you're always in control, then there's no reason to get sober,
right,
right? If you're in control, then what's the point of getting sober?
that's one of the things that some people be like, well, I can drink. Yeah, I bet you can.
Go refund all that misery again, and then tell me about it when you get
Yeah.
back. If you get to come back.
And you just hear that from people all the time. There's people that we used to hang out with that still have that same conversation with me all the time. Oh, I'm good. I can do it.
Yeah, the last time I drank was, like, that's good. That's good.
But you're not in control.
yeah. Go refund that misery and
Yeah.
tell me what's changed.
But yeah, that's my 2 cents about control.
So do you have any more comment?
Woody Blaine got on here. Said,
Hey, Woody Blaine, appreciate you tuning in.
Hey, relatives, love and respect, saving lives and restoring culture.
Aho.
Marty Baker said, Alani said, hi, Papa.
Oh, hi, Alani. Hi, baby. Hi. Where's Nova? Where's Nova Jean? Oh, my granddaughter gets to watch.
Yeah. And then Brother Isaac got on and said, good afternoon. So,
good afternoon, Isaac.
Oh, hi, Isaac.
Hi, Isaac. Hi, baby.
Yeah, it's so good to have you on.
Hi, Alani. Hi, baby. Papa loves you. I love you, Alani. Love you, Nova Jean. That's cool.
Yeah.
Made my day right there. What was that? It?
Yeah, that's it.
Well, yeah, give me a call, Marty. Let Alani shout me a holla.
Yeah. But our event we'll be here till 5.
We'll be here till 5. Hopefully 4.
Is it now? It's 2:40, so you have about an hour to come out and see us. There's still some food left over there.
It doesn't take that long to make a drum.
Yeah, we'll be here tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll be here
come
tomorrow.
Out and see us. We have a culture kitchen class
coming through.
So that'll be our thing tomorrow. I'm sure people will be coming here to finish up whatever projects they've started. But tomorrow will be our last day. And then Thursday, we're having our meet and greet at 1950 South Shepherd. Make sure you come out and at least
Thursday.
Come and listen and break some bread with us.
So bye, Alani. Papa loves you. Give Nova Jean kiss for Papa.
Oh, and there's Mingo. You probably won't see him for another week or 2. So
Goga. Do you even work here anymore? Do you?
Okay.
Well, when you gonna work? Yeah. Are you gonna work today? Oh. Well, hell yeah.
All
right.
We're out.
I hope.